Hi, I'm Robin,
And I'm Kristen.
and we're back to do 3 episodes of Run BTS,
Hmm
66 through
Eight.
68. Yes,
Yes.
that's what we're going to do.
Yes, that's what we're going to do.
That's what we're
So
gonna
it's
do.
probably going to be a quick episode.
Yeah.
66 and 67 are a two-parter,
hmm
and they are at the comic book cafe,
Yes.
which a lot of them were really excited about. And some of them actually, it was their first time. I think J Hope and JK had mentioned that it was their first time ever being in a comic book cafe.
Okay.
You missed that part?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I think they had said something about that, which I thought
Okay.
was pretty cool because they
Yeah.
got to experience it in a familiar, with familiar company, and I think they really enjoyed themselves. I'm,
Yeah. And for those who have been before, was excited about
And
being
the
there.
ones who really love the comics
Yeah.
also very excited about it.
Yeah.
So it was great. I mean, they started off playing some games to get some snacks.
hmm
The goal was to get 30 total points for the grand prize.
Yes. That's right.
Um,
30 points.
and so through the series of games, they could accumulate the points to hopefully add up to 30. I don't think they knew what the grand prize was initially. I don't think it was told to them what the grand prize would be in the beginning. So they didn't really know what they were playing for. I think if they knew what they were playing for, they'd be a little bit more competitive.
Yes.
They
But you know
seemed
what?
very
They
relaxed in
really
this way.
they were very relaxed in it until that last game.
Was it the
They
bonus one or the drawing
the
one?
drawing one.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
drawing
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yes, the drawing one.
yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, it was fun to watch. Chaos.
So much chaos, but it was
Chaos.
it was fun. So the very first game, they all had to go pick a comic,
Right.
and
Yes.
this one was a little. I thought it was a little unfair because they all picked comics that they really liked. Oh, I'm lengthy. Apparently, my bad. You're like a cat, very distracted. You're just like, oh, what's happening there? It's like the lint brush didn't get that side.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Anyway, so they all went to go pick a comic. They didn't know what for. They just had to go pick a
Yeah.
comic. There were some people speculating like what they could be doing. And then they get to their seat, they've got their comic, and the staff has chosen a comic, the director.
Mhm.
And so what they had to do was they had to flip to a random page, and whoever had the least amount of people on their page was won that round.
That was okay. I'm sorry. I was just remembering how that hit me.
Oh.
That yeah. Go ahead.
So they all chose like, action packed, comics and everything. And then the director chose a comic that had like a total of three
Three people.
characters.
Yeah, three characters.
And
Yes.
so they were kind of like, wait, what? Like that's unfair.
That's very
So
unfair.
so they went through, and they did have rules though. The rules were that to be counted as a person on the page, they had to have
Yes.
eyes, visible eyes, lips, nose.
Right. So you
So
had to
they
have the
had
facial
to, yeah, they
features.
had to have the facial features
Yeah.
drawn in, to a point where you could see it.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of like, there was one where one of the characters had a hat over one of the eyes, and they were like, "Does this count?"
Because it's an eye.
Because it's one eye and not the it's not,
Not
both eyes.
eyes.
So it was chaos in that trying to figure out how to determine
Yes.
who really won.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they got to the end, the last two, who were Jin and Suga,
Yeah.
their comics had a lot of people. I think they both had sports
Yeah,
comics.
both
No, one had. Oh, I want to say it's Naruto. I think one had Naruto.
You knew the names.
And yeah, I think Jin had Naruto and Suga had Slam Dunk, which we learned is his favorite comic.
Right. Yeah.
He's watched it 3 times, guys.
He's gone straight. He went straight to that.
Straight to that. He didn't even. He was
wasn't-
like, "Where's Slam Dunk?" And then went out of the room where they
Yes.
were filming, and
Yeah.
so the cameraman had to follow him. But yeah, those are comics with a lot of people in the scenes. And then Suga was complaining because he chose the final volume, and I guess that's a big, there's a big tournament or something, and there's just a lot of people. So he was like,
Right.
"This isn't fair." So they ended up choosing the director ended up choosing new comics. So
Yeah.
I can't remember which one he chose to go against Naruto, but it was a similar one. And
Right.
then they chose a sports one. It was like a tennis one, a tennis-based comic, to go against Suga. So I think they won that game. No, I feel like they lost that game.
Yes,
they lost that game.
They lost.
They had to have a certain amount of wins, and they didn't. They fell short by one, I think.
Yeah,
and so they didn't get the snacks for that round, and then they moved on to the next game, which I'm trying to remember what it is. Oh gosh, you are too. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I am. Wait a minute, did I write it down?
Did you write it down? I would hope so, because you're the one who takes notes on these things. I rely on my now non-existent memory.
The mission challenge.
They had the
mission challenge.
What was
and recognize the song? Was it the song one?
No. The song?
Yeah, they had to recognize the song from the.
No, quote. They had to recognize the quote.
Oh, the quote.
It was a quote from the comic.
The comic.
Yeah, and they had to finish the quote. But was that the second game?
Because the third game was the sketch. I mean, not the sketch, the drawing.
Remember, this is a 2-part one. So the third game overall, I think, was.
Are you sure it wasn't a song?
Yeah, I mean, there was a point where RM was singing, but that was just because that's what he wanted to do.
Oh,
okay. I know they had the game where they had to guess if
the famous MAGA.
Wait, what?
No, go ahead. No,
they had one of the members didn't have a comic, and so they had the binders, the folders to hide whether or not they had a comic.
Trivia.
And so we're going through a lot of different games.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry. We're not in any particular order because we can't seem to remember what the order
was.
But these are the games that they play. Yes. So the first one with the characters, the number of people on the page.
Right.
They had one where they had to, if they had to do, it was like lie detector, or they were able to use a lie detector, but they had to figure out who didn't have the comic. And so they were asked a series of questions by the director to determine whether or not they had the comic or not. And they won that one.
Yeah,
I think.
Okay.
There was the quote one where they had to finish the quote. They won that one. There was the menu one where they had to guess like the top 5 menu items.
Right. Yeah.
And they did not win that one.
No, they did not.
There was the sketch one.
The sketch one.
They won that one. There was there is another. Oh, the multiple question, the trivia.
That's what I was gonna say. Are you sure there?
No, there was a trivia one.
I know. We were trying to figure out the order, so I'm with you. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So there was a trivia one where they got the question with multiple choice answers, and they had to figure out which one was which. I think we've got them winning 3, and I think that might have been the 4th one they won. So they had a total of 20 points.
And they didn't have to recognize the song from the.
You're really stuck on a song. No, there's no song.
Okay.
Do you have it written down?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Oh.
But that's okay. That's the trivia. I knew there was a trivia for sure, and it's something that says there was a song or some sort of guessing of.
Well, the quote one.
But the quote wasn't a song.
No, the quote was not a song.
But that's okay. Because you guys are going to figure it out.
Or we're going to have to rewatch it.
No. Do you? Yeah.
Maybe.
It's going to bother you, right?
It's going to bother me. I'm like, where was the song?
It's going to bother you. Because I don't know if it was the theme song to the.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. Let's go.
And we watched this twice. I did. Okay. I watched it twice. Okay.
We really didn't have to let that off the back.
No, I am ashamed of myself because I watched it twice and I should know and I don't recall the theme song, but
yeah, I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I very well could be wrong. But
I know that they were given
there's something that reminds me
of a theme song.
Of a theme song because I remember them kind of, I don't know, joining in and singing it.
Don't look to me for help. I have no idea.
Okay. That's
I don't know. We were not on the same episode. Clearly, we were watching 2 different things.
Okay. All right.
But so then, because they fell short, the staff decided to give them a chance to get their grand prize. So they ended up with a bonus game, which was the eating the ramen and not going over 80 decibels.
Right.
And
so
they
quietly,
won. Yeah. And they won that one. Yes. So they were able to get the grand prize, which was they were able to get comics. And I think it was up to 20 issues.
Yes.
From that store, from the comic book cafe. So they were, I think they were pretty happy about that. Although I do recall Jen saying there's some of the comics have more than 20 volumes. And he was, I guess in his mind, he thought he was about to get the whole set. And they were just like, no, you have a limit.
Yeah.
Because he would be the one,
he would be the reason.
Yeah, he would be the reason they spend more than they need to.
Yeah. So that was the combination of episodes 66 and 67.
Which we clearly need to go back and rewatch. Because what was I paying attention to?
You know, I just remember. I'm gonna tell you, I get very stuck between the translation and trying to. Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay, this is me. So that I can.
I don't know what it is, but go.
So that I can be. You already know.
Oh, I do. Okay, what? Okay.
So that I'm able to catch everything within the
shot.
Closed caption. The translation. We slowed it down.
We did. We slowed down the speed. We started slowing down the speed of the videos.
Right, of the videos, so that I could catch everything. Because I'm not a speed reader, but we slowed it down.
So we watched it in 3/4 time.
And initially, it wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem initially. And I'm going back several.
And it's still not a problem. It's just unique. It's a unique experience when it's slowed down like that.
It is. But I didn't notice it, thinking that it wasn't a problem. I didn't notice it until
we both didn't notice
until they do the theme song or the opening
song. Yeah,
the opening song, and I'm like, oh my god!
You know why? Because I think normally we forget. So I being the one who's usually mastering the control at that point, I forget. And then by the time it started and like we've gone through the song, then I'm like, oh wait, I have to slow it down. So that could be why. Because we've already gone through the song, and then you're just like, oh yeah, that's right, they're speaking too fast.
But the last time we watched, I think 68, you did it beforehand.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We started to notice it because we do it right away. Yes. I do it right away now. Instead of waiting, because it's finally locked in that I have to slow this down. So I think that's what it is.
And I'm like, oh my gosh,
it's really slow.
It is,
and really we have it at 0.75, so it's not even that slow. But wow, what a difference that makes!
A very big difference.
It's like you're in a weird dream, and it's just like playing so like in the background, and you're just like, why is it so slow?
Like it's just not.
But anyway,
the tempo is really like there is none
almost. But anyway, all I will say, and I say this every time they have a episode where they're eating, is I just want to eat what they're eating.
When they were doing the ramen.
Yeah, the ramen and some of the other snacks that the sotok that they had looked really like everything just looked so good, and I was just like, oh, I just want to eat that. I can't watch Run BTS episodes on an empty stomach. Like we have to have food. We have to start training ourselves to eat snacks or like eat food, like good food.
Yes.
When because I find myself envious every time
of good food.
But I find myself envious every time because I'm like, I want that, and I'm looking at what I have, and I'm like,
which is nothing.
Sometimes, or like it's a snack. It's like like popcorn or like some chips or something. I'm just like, that looks better.
It does.
I want what they're having.
It does.
So that, and then from these episodes, my new Lachimolala is now Bono Bono Ya. Bono Bono Ya. Yeah. I remember seeing it before and not really thinking much of it. And
now I was just gonna ask. You didn't pick up on it the last time?
The very first time? Yeah, the very first time. Like I remember it. I remember a lot of the stuff, but you have to remember at that time I was binge watching them. They were literally back to back. As soon as I had an available moment, they were on until I went to sleep. And then I'd get up, do it all over again, work, and then come home and watch these episodes
Yeah.
because I was just trying to get caught up and figure out, I think at that point I realized they were for me at that point, but still, like I was still learning. So I had my process. So some things locked in, but a lot of stuff didn't. And now rewatching it, I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that I found that funny.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Bono Bono, yeah, it's in there.
It's in there. And
It's
funny.
locked in, yeah, and it's funny.
It's funny.
Because it's just the way he sits back and he says it with full confidence. It's like Bono Bono, yeah. It's like what? And and it's funny because I said it that slow because of the speed that we watch it. But it's quicker. It's quicker. I think it's just like Bono Bono, yeah. It's a lot quicker. But anyway, the point is
that slow.
No, it's not that slow. It's just that slow.
It's that slow. Okay.
Anyway, so yes, they had a great time at the Comic Cafe. We had a great time watching them at the Comic Book Cafe. And you should also have a good time watching them at the Comic Book Cafe. Also, make sure that you get good food because you're going to be very envious of them while you watch them eat the food. So that's 66 to 67. On to 68, which was one of the most confusing moments of my life. The heart pain.
Yeah. Game. Yes. And they were in Dallas. They played this game in a hotel.
Yes, the carpet was clean for her. She was that was the first thing she does. She's like, oh, the carpet's clean. I'm like, oh gosh, Mom. But the things your eyes are drawn to.
Yeah.
But yes, they were in Dallas in the hotel room, and the staff had made up this game called Heart Pang. Heart Pang. And they started off playing Holly Golly to choose teams, and of course
they didn't have to play.
Yeah, they didn't. Jin won. There was really just a chance for him to be glorified in his Holly Golliness,
and then show how masterfully he is at playing this game.
He really is. That is his game.
And when I seen it that they were playing, I said to you, Lindo, I said, is Jin gonna win?
At first you were like, does he always win? I said, I think he does.
Yeah,
I think he wins it every time they play. But yeah, he's just really that good. Yeah. And it's so funny when you see one of them get it before him, and they just like, they light up like, oh my God, I got it. And it's like the excitement, and then it dies by the next time he gets it. They're just like, what the? Yeah. It's funny. But yes, they played Holly Golly in order to determine who was going to be on the team. Yeah. Jin won. Mm-hmm. So he picked Jungkook, which was, of course, he was like, I don't know how this game is going to go, but I need the one who's good at everything. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, and I need the one who knows everything. So he picked RM. He's like, I need your brain. I need your skills.
Yes.
This is my team. And then he put Jimin and V together, and he put Suga and J-Hope together. Yes, so you had V-Min and Soap. That's their little duo names.
Soap?
Soap, yeah. Suga and J-Hope, Soap. And when they did the little that's their thing.
Oh.
Did you not notice it?
No, I remember seeing it. Didn't know.
Even the subtitles said Soap.
Oh. Well.
It's like,
well, obviously it wasn't slow enough then for me.
She missed that part. Either that or she wasn't. She was like, this isn't an instruction. Okay, never mind.
No, that's true. She's
like, I don't need to write anything down. But yes, they are Soap together. They are Soap because Suga and Hope. And anytime that they do stuff together, they have their little
team Soap.
Yeah, but also their little intro. Yes. I don't know why that's a thing. Maybe that's something we clearly missed. That was probably in one of their lives or something, but yeah, that was before our time. Either way, yes, that's their duo name, and when they do stuff together, that is what we refer to them as. So that was their groups.
Okay.
And they started playing this game, and because I don't understand anything of this game, I'm gonna defer to you because you at least have notes, and hopefully your notes make sense.
They don't. But anyway, let me go ahead and do my best. Okay, it was they made up the board game. The staff made up the board game, so it was a huge board, but it wasn't like
it was a fabric board.
Yeah, it was a fabric board, and it had hearts. 20. I think it was 21 hearts numbered from 0 to 20. And their playing pieces were hearts as well, and that's what they used to move around the board. They had dice. So what they had to do now, this is all because I didn't write any of this part down.
Okay. Let's hope I
They
remember.
had to roll the dice one at a time. They had 2 dice. They had to roll the die one at a time. They couldn't get any more than 6.
No, they couldn't exceed 7.
They couldn't exceed 7.
They could not exceed 7.
Okay.
As a total.
They couldn't, but yeah, as a total of the both, total amount of both dice.
The sum of the 2 die.
They couldn't, right? They couldn't exceed 7, because whatever they did get, they added it. So if they got 3 and 2, they added it 5 times 2, which gave them 10. So they had to do math. I had to do math,
which is why Jin chose art, because he was like, not me, not I.
So if they rolled it and they had a 14 or 13 or whatever,
they couldn't do
13. They couldn't
do
14. That's right. The 14, they really, they couldn't do anything. They had to pick a card, right?
No, okay. So if they rolled over, if they went over, I think they had to go back to. They had to take their piece off, or go back to 0, something like that.
Okay.
If they did get 7 between the 2 die, that means that they were able to move a total of 14 spots, but they also got a card.
Oh, okay.
And then there might have been some other rules that I can't remember.
Well, the card, they could utilize the card
instead of a die.
Instead of it, right. So that was the purpose of having the card. And I think if the number on the card, or the amount of hearts on the card, whatever, because they didn't show you what the card was.
Yeah.
But you could tell by their excitement, or not so much excitement, that it was a number that would not put them over their 7.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
no, what? No.
No, I don't remember. I'm trying to remember. So I remember that so you roll the first one to see what number you get. If you got a low number, then you more than likely would roll the second dice.
Right.
But if you got a higher number, like 5 or above, it was risky. So you either took the chance and got over, or you took the chance and you got it right, like you got under and you were able to get no more than 7, or you didn't take the chance and you just went with what you rolled the first time.
Right.
And that one wasn't multiplied by 2.
Right.
So it was just single.
That's what,
number.
Yeah.
So if you rolled 4, you only move 4 spots.
Right.
Then the cards. So you win the cards, and what that did was alleviated the risk of going over 7 based on what you rolled the first time. So if you rolled a 5 and you had a card that had 2 hearts, you could do that, complete the 7, and get the 14 spots in another card. If you rolled a 1 and you had a card that had 6 hearts, same deal. So that's why I'm not sure whether a low one or a high one was ideal. I think obviously the 1 heart and the 2 hearts were the best ones to get, because the odds of rolling like a 3 or 4 or 5 on the first one, you'd at least have that without risk. I just lost myself.
But the good thing about it is that you had the option to utilize the card. It wasn't to a point where you absolutely had to use the card.
No, you didn't have to use the card. It was clearly by choice.
Right, it was clearly by choice. So if you got, for instance, that 5, and you had the 2 hearts on the card, then you can use it. But if you had a card that had 3 or 4,
you wouldn't use it.
You just go ahead and move the 5 spaces,
or roll again if you so choose.
If you so choose, yeah. So that made it because it took several times, because they went around the board a couple of times.
Oh, and then there was another rule with piggybacking, where if
stacking?
Where if you land on the same spot as somebody who's already there, you stack your piece, and therefore you're not moving that piece anymore. Whoever you piggybacked on is responsible for moving you, but whichever piece is on top gets the card when they get to the end. So if Like I think there was a moment where Suga and J Hope they got piggybacked, and they got piggybacked by Jimin and V, and then Jin and JK and RM piggybacked them, so they were excited because they were like, "Oh, we're gonna get it." But then, also I should note, each team has two pieces.
Yeah,
We forgot to
two
mention
hearts.
that. So
Yeah,
two hearts.
Yes.
So again, with their
That's
second heart, J Hope and Suga ended up piggybacking themselves. So they were the ones moving, but they were also the ones that were going to collect the hearts at the end when they got to the end, and they did. So that put them ahead, and then everybody gets their pieces back, and then they go around again. There was a moment in time where Jin, RM, and JK were in the lead.
Right.
And that was the other thing. So the other thing with the hearts that you collect at the end, because I was like, there has to be a purpose for keeping these hearts or not using these hearts. That goes towards your total points, and whoever has the most hearts wins the game. So you want to collect hearts. You can use hearts at your own risk.
You're talking about the card heart.
Yeah, the card hearts. The card hearts, yeah. But you also want to make sure you have. So I think that's why. Oh, okay. So I think that's why they got excited when they got like high numbers, because that would. Oh, see, now I'm remembering. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a moment where Jin and JK and RM got excited because they thought they were going to win, and they had gotten on top of a stack and they got the hearts, and something else happened, and you just see Suga and J Hope just looking defeated, and JK and Jin and RM are just celebrating, and poor V and Jimin just sulking the entire time because these poor guys, they didn't even tell us how many hearts they got because I don't think they got any.
Well, no, they did, because I remember seeing V, because he chose the hearts, and then he showed it to Jimin. And and Jim is like, man, don't get excited. Don't just poker face. He was poker face because he didn't want. Yeah.
But they had so it ended up, once everything was done and all the pieces were moved around the board, JK, Jin, and RM had 32 hearts. J Hope and Suga had 39 hearts, and then V and Jimin, they didn't even show how many hearts. Yeah, it was just question marks. So they got the penalty, or the punishment, which we'll see in a different episode.
Yeah.
I don't know when that is. But the punishment was, apparently Jimin, unbeknownst to him, designed the penalty shirt that they have to wear on their flight home from Dallas to Korea. And they showed a clip of Jimin describing the shirt, and it's long sleeve, and it's got a picture of the members, and I can't remember all the words that were up like on the sleeves. I thought
it was the names, but it's not the names.
I don't remember. And then on the back, there's a heart, and it says like "I love Army" or something like that. Yeah. Basically, when he realized that he had designed this shirt for the punishment unknowingly, he was like, "Oh yeah, well it's not really that bad because it'll just look like whoever's wearing it really loves BTS and Army." He was like, "It's fine. It doesn't matter who wear it. Like, you're not gonna feel bad about it." But then he has to wear it. So
so they has to wear it. He through the airport and on the plane on the way home. Him and V. Okay, both of them. That was my question. So that was it. I think we had a better handle on that.
Yes,
than we did on the first one.
What's really crazy, because I really thought that I didn't remember any of that. Yeah, and I remember telling you I had to rewatch it, and I was like, I'm still confused. Yeah, I think I'm more confused now than I was the first time.
And I think most of my attention was drawn towards getting the
let's be real. Most of your attention was drawn towards V and Jim and losing, and you're just like, oh, my poor boys.
Oh. I did feel bad.
She always feels bad, but it's always them.
No, but it's not always. Anytime any of them have feel like that, and I can see it in their face,
they just feel defeated.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, come on, y'all. Couldn't y'all just like flip the card? Turn the tables.
They have moments where they are kinder to each other.
Yeah.
And not that they weren't kind to each other, but they do have moments where they also sympathize, and they
they do.
But not today.
But I have to say that anytime there's any kind of singing or dancing or anything like that, V laughs so hard, and I get so tickled by how he laughs. I end up laughing to tears.
Oh, like when they do karaoke
Yeah,
or
when they
something.
do karaoke, anything like that. And then I feel bad laughing at this, but when J Hope is on a roller coaster, when he's in an amusement park,
That poor man.
I really feel for him. But it's so funny
It
because
is very funny.
his expression, him trying to close his eyes, just trying
Him
not to
trying to
be
stay
there.
alive.
Yeah, just trying not to be there. And that, that gets me. That, I don't know. I feel different things at different
Different
times,
things,
and
different scenarios.
yeah. So, but it's all
evoke
right.
different
But it's all
emotions.
right. It's
But yes,
OT7 all the way. I mean,
no, I know it's just really funny the way you get about like when Jimin or especially V, because V is very like you could see it on his face.
yeah.
He's not hiding any
No,
emotions, and he just
no,
feels so
he's not.
sad. You're just like, oh, somebody let him win.
Right.
give him a heart, like give him a card.
So give him a crackjack box
Yeah,
with something,
something
a
like,
good
can he-
prize in
like
it or something.
like he lost, and like can't you just like say, hey, your favorite meal is for dinner or
Yeah,
something?
right,
Like, just something
right.
to
Yeah.
cheer him back up. But no, I get it. I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that way about them too. But that's you can't be distracted by that, because with every game there has to be a winner and it has to be a loser. Somebody's got to do the punishment. So honestly, either way, it could go. But yeah, I get where you're coming.
Yeah, good. Good. Alrighty then.
Well, we have nothing left to talk about, so we're gonna. Oh my gosh, we're gonna see you next week.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But next week we're gonna be talking about Arirang. We're gonna be talking about the live comeback from Netflix. So we're gonna have a very candid, probably off-camera conversation about that.
Yeah.
Because we'll be very, very tired.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of stuff coming up for us.
And yeah, not just with that too, but like with work stuff and personal stuff, like that's just gonna be a very long weekend.
Yeah.
So please forgive us, but we promise you won't miss our faces for too long.
No.
Because the next week, hopefully, we'll be able to do a breakdown of the album and go through like we normally go through with our different albums or with their different albums.
Yeah,
so
their different albums.
We'll have it.
Our different take on their
on their different albums. So we'll have it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe like it'll be a week and we'll have the album.
Yes.
So we're really excited. Yeah. We're really excited. It's okay. I'm done. All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.